Hello, hello. I might have to try something different with my camera. Maybe we'll try like up here. I finally got a monitor, so I'm not like working just off my laptop. Actually, I kind of like that. Let me angle this a little bit. Yeah, that's not bad. I like that. Cool. Well, welcome. So it's like rolling around. Also, this chair is really loud. I just noticed. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Tyler, and today we are going to be going through some CKS labs, and then I also wanted to just answer questions as they come in, so that's what we'll be doing. I might get this up on my other social medias real quick. But yeah, like I actually have like a new setup, so I finally have a monitor, so I have multiple displays, and then I have like my laptop right here. So we're fancy now. We're official. So let me welcome. I'm just putting this up on my socials real quick. Here. I wish I could. Like one thing I think would be really fun to live stream is working on. Not what I wanted. I would love to work on my like personal AWS project. Well, it's technically in Azure, DigitalOcean, and AWS now, but I'd love to work on that on stream. But the issue with that is there's a lot of like account numbers and public IP addresses and nothing super private, but things that maybe I shouldn't be broadcasting to the world. So I can't do that. But when I get this, I'm just posting it to my socials right now. But once I get that done, I'm going to fire up KodeKloud, and we're going to run through some Kubernetes stuff. So that'll be fun. Come stop by. All right. Paste. Done. I hope works. I should actually test my own link before I. We have Alan says found your channel because I was looking to get into getting a CCNA. Would it be useful to get it if I want an entry level help desk role? Absolutely. Yeah, I'm part of the group that there it is. That thinks everybody should get a CCNA. It's so useful even if you're not going into networking, because one of the things I might make another video on this here, but one of the things a CCNA did for me is like not only do you learn a lot of useful networking things, it's for a lot of people it's their first really difficult certification, and it's good that it's difficult, but what makes it like I guess good as a difficult certification is there's so many resources available for it that you're never it's hard to have a question that hasn't been answered. So it's a great first, like, really difficult certification to go to. So like now it's like you hit certifications, like I'm studying for my CKS right now, and there's just like less on it. There's not as many resources. It's harder to find information, harder to get your questions answered. So yeah, highly, highly recommend the CCNA. So come stop by. Put this on my Snapchat because why not? And then I'll actually focus and stop procrastinating my studying. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's go to A plus. Ooh, how is the A plus? I've never done it before, but it's a super popular one, so I would imagine it's a pretty good certification. How did I land my first job? I'm messing with my display settings because it's the first time I've used this monitor. I have like a real setup now, guys. Okay, well, not really, but I have a setup. How did I find my first job? So when I was looking, I just lost my streaming page. I love that. Sorry, I'm messing with displays. I gotta lock in. Okay, keep changes. This one's going like right here. Apply. All right, and then cool. So it should be was ready. Okay. Questions? Yeah. How did I land my first job? So when I was looking for my first job, I was on vacation. It was weird because I didn't have any certifications. Like I was in the process of studying for my Network Plus, but I didn't have it, and I didn't really have any prior technical experience. I wish I had the first version of my resume because it's hilarious, dude. Like I don't think I still have it, but resume. I need to look for it because you guys would really appreciate the disaster that this was. Anyway, I just kind of applied to everything. Like any entry level job I saw, I would apply for. I wouldn't really focus on like if I was qualified. I was just like, I'm willing to learn, so I'm going to apply for this job, right? So lots of I feel like this needs to go down. There we go. Yeah. Just lots of kind of trial and error with applying. Yeah, I just kind of shotgunned my resume out to almost any posting that I thought I could grow into. And then eventually actually Comcast like sent me a message back and was like, hey, we'd love to have an interview. And yeah, I then landed a job at Comcast. So that was my first IT job there, just on their business support. So kind of just on the phones all day answering questions. A plus is a pain because it's 2 exams. Yeah, that's like it's huge. Like to break a certification into 2 exams is like wild. Like the CCNA here, like that's a lot of information. But one of the things that like with the CCNAs, you don't need to know every single little tiny detail. There are a lot of little tiny details, but with these CompTIA certs, it's much more you need to know every single little detail because that's just like how the exams are. So like I would imagine the A plus is pretty brutal. But all right, should we fire open our labs here? I think we should. All right, let me get signed into KodeKloud. I'm still having a really hard time deciding what I want my next certification to be. Like, I've changed it 15 times, and I just still cannot figure it out. I might have to do. Let me fire open my password manager real quick. I'll use a password manager. I use 1Password, and I really enjoy it. Let's see. I thought I remember I messed this up last time too. Let's do it. Please be correct. Hey, look at that. Cool. All right. Can't wait to get my CCNA, taking Jeremy's IT lab. That's a great path to go. Jeremy's course is like rock solid on it. Just kind of be persistent with it. Like I don't even know how many times I watched the OSPF freaking videos because it took me so long to figure that out. But it's just like a lot of like reps. Like it took me I think 6 months to get my CNA because it just took that long. So here we are. Okay, so you guys can see that. Why is it flashing? Is it flashing on your guys' end? Okay, looks like it figured itself out. Would I consider taking the CCNP? That's a tricky one because yes, I think I would really enjoy it. I think I would enjoy the CCNP, and it would be a good thing for me to do because I know that's another really hard certification. But right now, I'm kind of like just drilling into cloud and security. So that's kind of maybe just down the road thing. Like I want to go at some point all the way up the Cisco tracks. So what do you guys want to see, like short labs or like challenges? I did a challenge last time if any of you guys remember. But I think the challenges are kind of fun, but they do ask some things that are a little bit outside the exam scope, so I'm a little bit hesitant on those. We can do a practice test. No guarantee I'll finish it on time because I'll be talking to you guys, but with our dashboard, I'm gonna go this guy, Mumshad dude. He's a legend. Like he makes. I didn't take the CKAD, but I have the CKA, and his course was so helpful for that. So do mock exams. Let's do. Some of these mock exams are silly because like they have questions on like what's that called? I'm spacing on the name of it. They have these questions that like obliterate the API server. I know mock exam 2 has one that like I have to skip every time because even if you follow the like correct answer guide and you set everything up, it'll just like fail your it'll shut down the API server and it won't come back up. I don't know why. I feel like it's just something almost unrelated. But I don't know. I like mock exam 2. Let's do mock exam 2 because I know this one has like network policies and stuff, which is pretty easy to go through. And I need to get a little bit faster on mock exams. People are getting rich off YouTube selling courses and coaching. I don't know. Like on one hand, I think I like selling courses would be fun, but I don't know if it's necessarily for me. I kind of just like I like yapping, you know. Is it .io? I'm pretty sure it is. All right, so first question here. It says a pod called Redis backend has been created in the prod x12 namespace, has been exposed as a as a service of type cluster IP using a network policy called allow Redis access lockdown access to the pod. So we need lockdown, so any pod in the same namespace with the label backend prod x12 and any pod in the prod x13 namespace can get to it. So we only want these two rules. Like you can think of network policies like firewalls effectively. So we're going to basically build a firewall in Kubernetes. So we're going to go over here and we're going to search network policy. Go over here. We're going to grab our network policy. I'm so glad I took the time to set up my monitor. Basically what we can do is we can grab this whole YAML manifest file. We're not going to use all of it, so we're going to kind of cut it down a little bit. But then we're going to do a touch 1.yaml. Nano 1.yaml. One thing, so when I'm going through these exams, when I'm making YAML manifests, I like to name my files after what question I'm on. So like if I have like 2 manifest files in one question, I'll do like 1-2.yaml. So then like if I need to go back and adjust it later, it's really easy for me to find what I named the file. All right, Garlic Jeans asked, can I know why you took the CCNA? I took it because I believe networking is such a fundamental skill, and just regardless of which direction you go with tech, security, cloud, databases, like all of that, at some point you're gonna have to understand networking, and the CCNA just does such a good job at going a little bit deeper into those topics. Whereas like the Network Plus is great and all, but you really don't have to understand it on a practical level, where with the CCNA, you kind of do have to understand it in a more practical sense. You still don't have to like go through and really like on your own set up a network or anything, but I think it does a good job at getting you that like associate level knowledge in networking that is oh so useful in every path. So that is why I took my CCNA. I would not change a thing. All right, so starting off, let's give our network policy a name. And it wanted it to name, or it asked us to name it this. So allow Redis access. I'm probably going to run out of time just answering questions, but that's okay. Now we're going to want to put it in the prod x12 CS namespace because it's referencing any pod in the same namespace with this label. So it wants us to make it in the same namespace as Redis backend, which is in the products x12 CS. So that's not what I wanted. I'll just type it out. Prod x12 CS. Okay. So moving down, we don't need anything for egress. We can cut that. Same thing, like it didn't reference any ports, so we don't actually need to restrict anything with ports really. So pod selector, and all right, so we're going to need a pod selector and a namespace selector. We won't need this IP block rule. All right, so let's go get some labels. So we have that label. So now we do k describe namespace prod y. So now we need, I think we just need this label if I'm not mistaken. And we want everything from a namespace that has this label. So that's obviously our prod y namespace. And then we have to restrict the namespace that our policy exists in. We only want pods in that namespace with this label to be able to talk to our Redis backend pods. So we're going to grab this guy. And with this line, we're saying there's no restriction on namespace as long as it's the same one the policy exists in. But whatever pod is trying to talk to our Redis backend pod needs this label to communicate. So yes. And then the last thing is we need to tell it which pod to apply the policy on. All right, more questions. Which one of my certs was harder? So I currently have my CCNA, Network Plus, Cloud Practitioner, Solutions Architect Associate, and CKA. Oh, CCNA, that's what I meant. So those are the 5 I have. Out of all of them, I would probably say they were tricky for different reasons. So like the Network Plus or the CCNA was hard because I didn't have any experience. But in terms of raw difficulty, I might have to give it to the Solutions Architect Associate. I mean, some of these questions are just insane. So like, let me pull out some stuff here. So core concepts. So like I wrote down all of the practice questions. Like, let's see. So like this is just like one example of one of the practice questions, and they're just like so long and so in depth that you need to have you just have to know a lot of little tiny details. So like one question on a practice test I took was a tech company that you are working for has undertaken a total cost of ownership analysis evaluating the use of Amazon S3 versus acquiring more storage hardware. The result was that all 1,200 employees would be granted access to use Amazon S3 for the storage of their personal documents. Which of the following would you need to consider so you can set up a solution that incorporates a single sign-on feature from your corporate AD or LDAP directory and restricts access for each individual user to a designated folder in an S3 bucket? Select 2. And so if you're curious, the correct answers for those were set up a federation proxy or an identity provider and use AWS security token service to generate temporary tokens, and configure an IAM role and an IAM policy to access the bucket. So like everything in yellow, those are questions. So like you can see just how in-depth those questions are. So I'd say the Solutions Architect Associate by AWS is the hardest one I've used so far. Pod namespace prod x12 Redis backend. So now we need to grab labels from here. And we want to apply it. I hope I'm not making silly mistakes because I'm talking at the same time, but won't guarantee anything. So network policy, allow Redis access, namespace is correct, pod selector is correct, ingress from, namespace, yes. Okay, I think that's correct. So we'll go here. Okay, apply -f1.yaml. All right, cool. So now we can do describe network policies and namespace prod x12. All right, so it's allowing from namespace selector from pod selector, not affecting egress. Perfect. Okay, so I believe that's correct, so we can move on to our next question. With the CCNA, did you hand take notes? Actually, no, I didn't. I didn't do anything, I think, by hand, or really a lot of notes in general, which is kind of like, not out of character, but like for the CKA, or yeah, CKA, I did like extensive notes. Same thing with like Network Plus, I know I did a lot of notes for as well. I just read these practice tests, watched Jeremy's IT lab a ton. I did all the Pearson labs, so I still prepared a crazy amount. I just didn't didn't take really write down notes for it. All right. So this next question asks, a few pods have been deployed in the app's XYZ namespace. There is a pod called Redis backend, which serves as the backend to the apps app1 and app2. A pod called app3, on the other hand, does not need to access this Redis backend pod. Create a network policy called allow app1-2. It will only allow incoming traffic from app1 and 2 to the Redis pod. So again, we're working with network policies, so we're going to do the same thing that we did here. We're going to go touch2.yaml to build our manifest file. So nano 2.yaml, go here. Again, it's we're not doing anything with egress traffic, so we're going to go remove that. Again, it didn't specify ports, so we're going to remove that. It didn't specify restricting things by namespace either, so we can remove this, and we can remove this. We are going to need 2 of these blocks, though, so let's go ahead and do that. Is that on the same line? Yeah. No, this is itchy. All right, so we have our 2 pod selectors now. Let me remove this and name it before I forget. I'm gonna go Control-C. Have I showed you guys what I did to my laptop? I engraved my laptop a while back, and it's like a fully like custom thing now. I'm kind of proud of it. I'm not gonna lie. So we have a few pods, so this is going to be the namespace we want it deployed in. Very good. All right, so now we need what it's applied to and what can talk to it. So we have to go back here. Okay, describe pods dash namespace, that namespace, and we're going to say app1. Yeah, we'll just do it manually. Look. So this is one of them. And then just out of curiosity, I don't remember if it was like the same naming scheme or if they were completely different. Tier front end and app2. Cool. So we can go back to this. We're actually going to have 2 labels that this one's attached to. Generally, when making network policies, I always just use all of the labels for a pod that exist for it, just in case the like exam is looking for a different label to be used. If you just use all of them, you kind of avoid that issue. So same thing. We'll go here. So the only difference was it's going to be app2. But we still have that tier front end label as well. So the last thing to do here is we need to tell the policy which pod are we going to apply, or which pod/pods are we going to apply this to. So now we have to do Redis backend. All right, and this one has these 2. So now we can go back over here. What are y'all's thoughts on YAML? The whole like spacing thing. Versus like JSON, which is a mess of like brackets and stuff. Like it makes sense. Like I get why JSON does what JSON does, but ugh. Like one thing that the CKA I had to learn was JSON path like scripting and how to pull certain information with JSON path, and it was, oh man. Okay, so this should be good to go now. Match labels from 2 separate rules. Okay, so just like last time, we're gonna do k apply -f2.yaml. Boom. Describe network policies in namespace. Sorry. App 1, App 2. Very good. Okay, cool. So we can move on to question 3. All right, let's see what I missed. Yes, I feel like it's easy to remember steps in AWS. Yes. I don't think setting stuff up in the cloud is too bad. Granted, pretty much my first exposure to IT was actually my senior project, which was a cloud project. But yeah, I did. Let me do this. I don't like docs. I wish that I could turn off the timer because I want to go on these tangents, and we might just have to if we run out of time, I'll just restart the lab and pick up where I left off. But I'll show you this is the cloud project that got me my job as a cloud engineer. I straight up just brought this to the interview and they were a huge fan of it. So this is an architecture that I built in my AWS environment. I used primarily Terraform. So everything in orange you see here is, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't think that exists anymore. What on earth? Yeah, so there's a weird work in progress kind of network over there. But yeah, this is everything in orange was set up with Terraform. This is my KodeKloud cluster I set up in DigitalOcean, not set up through Terraform. I could do that. I could just make an image and run it that way if I wanted to. And then I have Azure Auth set up over in Azure Land. I have these red boxes because those are the latest changes I made to my architecture. And I was highlighting them for a LinkedIn post. But I have IAM stuff over here. This actually was my senior project. This little box right here, I actually mentored a kid, and we did this exact project as well. Basically, you just have a CloudWatch rule looking for when EC2 instances hit a launch state, and then the trigger off that CloudWatch. Technically, it's Event Bridge. Yeah, whatever. I know. That trigger from that Event Bridge rule kicks off a Lambda function, which goes and talks to SES and then fires off an email to me, I guess. So yeah, I would love to bring up the Terraform for this project, but that is a lot. Okay, so back to what we were doing. Question 3. A pod has been created in the Gamma namespace using a service account called ClusterView. The service account has been granted additional permissions as compared to the default service account and can view resources cluster-wide on the Kubernetes cluster. While these permissions are important for the application and this pod to work, the secret token is still mounted on this pod. Secure the pod in a way that the secret token is no longer mounted in the pod. You may delete and recreate this pod. So this one is weird because it doesn't ask you to fix anything. It's just make sure it doesn't get mounted. So I'll show you guys. This is a pretty easy one. So okay, describe pod in namespace Gamma, and then we shoot this to YAML, and then we can go 3.yaml. Yeah. What? Oh, not describe. We have to do Let's see, get. Okay, get out. Yeah. Nano 3 dot. We don't need this. We don't need these two. And then we also don't need anything from the status section, so we can delete all that. I'm gonna have to run upstairs and get more coffee soon. All right. So now we have our volume, which is that that secret token that it's referencing. So like literally what we do is we just obliterate the entire volume section, and then we also kill the volume mount section. And then we have to go get auto mount service account. Control F, auto mount. Grab this. It'd be really embarrassing if I finished this and got like 20%. All right, so I think of that. We have a cluster view service account. Yeah. Okay. So we can do this and okay, delete. Jeez. Pod and namespace gamma. Apply dash F3 dot. Okay, get pod dash namespace gamma. All right, so that's running. So that is question 3. Who's viewing? Let's see. I don't think there's a way to like see who's actually on my stream, but thank you all for watching. I know it's not the most like riveting thing to watch in the world, but it'd be good to hop on and chat. So pod in the Sahara namespace has generated alerts. Ooh, so this is Falco. So we need to go and let's see. So we're gonna do journal CTL -u Falco. Falco is a monitoring service, and this question I should actually probably just read the question. Upon the Sahara namespace has generated alerts that shows up inside the container. To recognize such alerts, set the priority to alert and change the format of the output so it looks like the below. Make sure to update the rule in such a way that changes will persist across Falco updates. All right, so step 1, we are going to just get all the logs. Actually, let me do grep. Oh, I don't know. We need this text right here. So now we can go over here, move back, and we go C, CD, Falco. And then this is going to be a rule that exists in this file. And we need to find that rule, so we're going to find it like this. And then we're going to do -C20. I think that's the syntax for it. Yeah, cool. Hi, is having a CKS or CKD? I'm assuming you meant CKAD. Useful in my current job? Yes, actually. So we have some Kubernetes stuff, and it pretty much runs itself. I haven't had to really make many changes to it, but as it is part of our architecture, I am at least somewhat responsible for maintaining it. So like one of like the ongoing projects I'm having is that I just kind of gave myself for fun was to set up Falco in our cluster. So I'm still playing with like the best way to do it. Like certain rules seem to be behaving weird, which is just something I need to look into more. But yeah, I don't. It's not like my main role. Like I said, it kind of just runs itself. But I do use it on occasion. So let's grab this role, and we're going to go nano falco rules.local, and this file actually overwrites the default rules file, and it will never be changed, which is answering this part of the question where it says make sure they persist across Falco updates. That's what this will do. I don't think that I need that. So now we can do Control K and K. Boom, boom, boom. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to change this to alerts. And then we need this. And we're going to paste that there. We're going to open the Falco docs here and grab our other values that it was asking for. So starting off, it wanted the timestamp of the event without nanoseconds. That's going to be with no nanoseconds. Let's move this one. What was I doing? There it is. Over here. Go like that. Shift %. Up next is the user ID, so we can just go and do Control F user.uid, I think it is. So we go back here. We can do %user.uid. Then we need the container ID. So container. Oh, wrong page. Container .id. And we'll just grab this guy. Back over here. One of my goals this year is to hit 1,500 subscribers by the end of the year. And I think we're gonna do it, guys. We're less than 200 away. I was looking at that earlier today, and we're like 1,315, I think, is our current count. So, all right. So we have container ID, and then we need the repositories. So go back. We go here, not there. We go here. We go search for repository. We go here. We go like that. Go like this, and we go %, not $. Boom. Okay, so description, terminal shell, and container. All right, so I think that is what we need. So now we can go and do a systemctl restart. I'll go and then go back and do our journal-ctl. Actually, we need to do grep alerts. I don't think that can. So we'll just wait because it should pop open a few logs, and it hasn't yet. But check the socials real quick while I do. Very nice. Really? There's a way to just get the end of it, but I'm lazy. It's fine. So there's our restart. Okay, so there's our alert. So we have timestamp with no nanoseconds, user ID, ID. So this is running as really nice. Then we have the container ID, which is this one, and then we have our repository. So this question is done. Very good. Up next, we have Martin is a developer who needs access to work on the dev A, B, and Z namespace. He should have ability to carry any operation on any pod in A and B. However, in the dev Z namespace, he should only have permission to get and list pods. So, cool. Locking down Martin. All right, Martin. Do k get roles dash namespace dev A. K describe role bindings. Oh my goodness. What? I just hacked out. Wow. All right. Very good. All right. So it's mapped to Martin. Good. So now we can do k describe roles. And looks like full access in A. So now we can go and say B. Looks like it's mapped. And then we can say, give me that role. So full access in both of those. So that's already done, which is good. And so now we have to go into namespace dev Z. So same thing. All right, so right now we have full access in all of them. So we need to actually change that. Okay, edit role. All right, so we don't want him to have full access. We just want get and I don't know if I need both of those little dashes, but we're gonna try it like this to get complaints then. So now we can do cube ctl auth. Can I get pods namespace dev Z as Martin? Why? All right, so I can get pods. Can I create pods? No. All right, so that looks like that's set up. I'll do lists just for fun, just to be nice and thorough. Yes. All right, so this question is done. All right. Question 6 asks us. I'm gonna have to take a coffee break. I will be right back. Let me what's that? What's that thing? Hold on. There's something I'm looking for. There's a little like thing that I can put like words up on the screen. I forgot the name of it though. Mr. Dude. I think Mr. Dude made it if I'm not mistaken. what I should do, touch hi.yaml, getting coffee here. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. What will we do? Okay. On the control plane node, an unknown process is bound to port 8088. Identify the process and prevent it from running again by stopping the services and removing the package that started it. All right, cool. So this one, it's netstat dash netulp. All right, so we're looking for 8080. So we can see these three lines are all bound to 8080. So we have TTYD, which actually I don't know what that service does. I should look into that. And then open light speed. So it wants us, okay, if you shut down TTYD, it like obliterates your exam simulator. Ask me how I know. So it wants us to kill this service. So you can go system ctl stop open light speed light speed. Service not loading? What? It should be stop. Why did it give me an error when I said stop? What do you mean? Is it under a different name or something? Oh, it's just my thing froze. I love that. That's good. So it should be down here somewhere. Open light speed. Oh, okay. I misspelled it. I'm smart. I promise I know what I'm doing sometimes, guys. I swear. Light speed. All right, so now we can go status stopped. All right, then we go apt get, and then I think it's like uninstall or something. Remove, open, light speed. Say yes. All right, so 8080 is free other than that one service that obliterates your exam simulator if you stop it, and it's stopped and disabled, and the packages are moved. Cool. Next question. All right, pod has been created in the mega namespace using a pod definition file located at this one. However, the pod is not running. We have to apply a secout profile located here to ensure the this pod can only make limited syscalls. However, it appears it doesn't allow read and write syscalls. Okay, cool. So we need to go back to roots, and then we can go nano var lib kubelet second profiles. Oh, custom profile.json. All right, so this is our second profile. This is the default behavior is to have it like kill or restrict the syscall. And we need to add both read and write to this list. So we can go like this, and space over, and say read and write. All right, so that's our second profile loaded. Good. So we now have an issue with our manifest file located. Actually, did they try to start it? Get pods. Dash namespace. Omega. Okay, so we want to figure out why this failed. Okay, scribe. Pods. All right, looks like it can't find the profile just based off here. It says error cannot create container D. Container cannot load secomp profile. Var lib kubelet secomp. I did the exact same error, so that stands out to me. So it's looking for the wrong thing. So we need to do. So we're gonna delete the pod. We have the manifest file, so we're good. We want to go and delete this guy. So we can go nano CKS roots CKS omega. All right, so this is a pretty easy fix right here. We just have to change that. All right. So now I think we should just be able to run it and it will be good. So let's do it. So name Control X. Apply -f root CKS and omega. And now we can do the same thing. All right, so now it's running with the correct seccomp profile. Seccomp profile has been updated, so we should be good. All right, question 8 asks us, pod definition file has been created at root CKS simplepod.yaml. Using the kubesec tool, generate a report for the definition file and fix the major issues so the subsequent scan report no longer fails. So kubesec scan go CKS simple pod. All right, so it's failing with a score of -30, and the reason it's failing with a score of -30 is because it is using the sysadmin as the security context. So we just have to remove that, and then we should be good. So we can go new CKS simplepod.yaml, and we just don't want this one. All right, and then can run it again. Now we're passing, very good. And then we need to send this report to here. Boom. All right. So now we can do cat CKS kubesec report. Very good. All right, so that was a pretty easy one. Moving on to our last question. All right. Just need a minute. All right. Create a new pod called Secure Nginx Pod in the Ceph namespace. Use one of the images from the below, which has the least number of critical vulnerabilities. So now we need to fire open a notepad. Take a picture of this. Just open Notepad and it has like an important thing on it. All right. So we have all of these options. All right, and with these options, we need to find the image with the least number of critical vulnerabilities. So we can do trivy image rancher alpine dash tits colon 1.0.4. Should give us a nice little scan. Oh, I forgot to specify. Severity critical. All right, so this one has 17 critical vulnerabilities. I'm almost like losing my voice. I've been yapping for a minute now. So it has 17. Up next, we have Nginx 1.19. So, go go back here and simply run this. All right, and this one has 46 critical vulnerabilities. All right, so 46, and then we have 1.17. So basically, same thing for all these images. We're just looking at how many critical vulnerabilities they have, and then we're going to build a pod with whichever one has the least amount. So up next we have Nginx 1.20. Do this. So same thing here. And this one has 22. So none of these images really look like super great options because they all have significant amounts of vulnerabilities, but hopefully one of them does a little bit better. Which I would hope the one made by Google does a little bit better. If you all have questions about like certs or like getting a job in IT or any of that, by all means, fire away. All right, so this one only has 1. So unless we have one that has 0, this will be our image of choice. So last one here to scan. Go like that, and we let that run. And in the meantime, we're going to go over to here. Actually, I don't even need to be doing all that. All right, this is still loading. I'm just going to use it with the imperative commands, and I don't really need to make a whole thing for it, like a whole YAML manifest. So this one also has 1. That's interesting. So, so now we have 2 options. Oh, I did not. Okay, cool. Did it run it multiple times? Oh, no, it has 7. Okay, just the way it outputted made it look like had more. So now we can do kubectl run secure nginx pod in namespace Seth with our image flag set to this guy. All right. I think that's good. So we're going to run that, and then we're going to just make sure it starts correctly. Namespace Seth. All right. And so then once this finishes running, we can get our test results and see if I have any idea what I'm talking about. So let's give it a shot. All right, so our pod is set up, which brings us to the end of our practice test. So let's see how we did. Multitasking might have hurt a little bit, but hopefully I did okay. All right, off to a strong start. I like that. That's good. This one's taking a little bit to load, so. Oh, what? What do you mean? That's what I did. Run in namespace Seth. Is that not the exact? Did I spell something wrong? Run secure nginx in namespace Seth with image. No, I beg to differ. I have that exact pod set up. Like, that's exactly what I did. What do you mean? Details. We're gonna test again and see if it just like wasn't like fully set up or something. Because I did exactly what it asked, so I should have gotten 100%. I beg to differ. I don't know about all that. So, okay, describe pod namespace. Secure nginx pod. Am I like losing my mind, guys? Namespace Seth. Secure nginx pod. Using the image Google containers / nginx. That yeah. No, I did that right. I don't know why. That's like exactly what I did. Am I losing my mind, guys? Like the exact command I ran was this one. Run secure nginx pod. So run secure nginx pod in namespace Seth. They put it at the start because why not? Image flag set to. Yeah. I wonder if it's looking for a specific version. I bet that's what it's looking for, actually. I wonder if they updated the version. No, not even. I'm calling shenanigans on this, dude. I did that right. That should not be saying I got that wrong. Let's see. Let's see if I run the exact same command. Okay, delete pod namespace Seth. Because, dude, I severely beg to differ on how it graded this. Okay, so let's test again and see if it likes its own command more. If that's the case, I don't know how I feel about that, because what? Why would you do that? If it marks its own command wrong, that's hilarious. Okay. Well, the grading is messed up on this question, it looks like, because I ran the exact command in the solution, and I also ran my own one, both of which were the correct solution, but for whatever reason, it doesn't want to acknowledge that, so ignore that. I got 100%. Well, technically 92, but if it graded it correctly, I would have gotten 100. So with that, that ends our practice test. So pretty stoked about that. We'll just submit that. All right, and I am going to stop sharing. I'll hang around for a few more minutes and just see if any more questions roll in, and if not, I will probably end the stream. I'm going for a minute now. You guys want to see what I did to my laptop? I don't know if I'll be able to show this very well. Okay. Check this out. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but I engraved my laptop, like all by hand. It's kind of sick. Now my webcam is wrong. All right, we're back. I have a video I need to make on these guys, actually. I built one of these that, this one right here, I have it labeled with a frowny face. Basically what it does is when you plug it into a computer, it will navigate to Chrome and turn off Chrome security. Then it will navigate to Defender and turn off Defender security. And then what it does is I need like, there's another part to this project where I actually have a little like web server set up with what's that tool called? Why am I spacing on it? It's in Kali Linux. What's the tool I'm thinking of? Why am I spacing on it? It's like the big like vulnerability and like exploit platform, Metasploit. Some of Metasploit, I set up a remote server that its entire purpose is actually just to host malware, and it then like makes itself a local website on whichever like local network you're on. And so again, back to this thing, when it's plugged into the victim computer, it will go turn off Chrome and Windows security. Well, it doesn't turn it off, but it makes a full exception for the C drive. So anything you download is like just whitelisted. And then it proceeds to download said malware from my local web server, and then it launches said malware from my local web server, which has the end result of giving me shell on whichever laptop it's plugged into. Now, the way it functions is, like all of these, it pretends it's a keyboard and it runs a bunch of very specific commands with very specific timings. So it is finicky. Like it doesn't, like if I had like a Windows 8 computer, like this wouldn't work, but I set up for Windows 11. So any Windows 11 computer I plug it into, it should work. But I would love to set it up so it's more resilient. Like I'd love to do it all through commands rather than navigating through UI things. Just because like if someone's like UI is even a little bit different, like for example, if they use Edge instead of Chrome, like this thing won't work. So it's locked down to such specific use cases, and I think it'd be cool to have one that works more universally. And then the other thing is I think it would be really cool to have my like Metasploit server set up on like AWS or some like public cloud provider and then give it a public address so that way it can be like navigated to like publicly, so then it's not restricted to the local network, and like I could be like, it doesn't matter what network the like victim's computer is on, I could just plug it in, it goes. Obviously, like not for malicious like intention. I'm not trying to like actually like break anything, but I like labs where where it's like simulating something bad happening. So like on my like website where I'm going to host the malware, I probably should put like a notice or something on it that's like, because it would be public. Like, for the love of everything, don't download like this link. Like, this is not healthy. And granted, it's like as long as you have Defender and Chrome security in or like enabled, it won't download it because it's a pretty well-known just like exploit, or it doesn't really hide that it's a malicious file, but I just like turn off security so it lets me run it anyway. But like I would like hate to like like accidentally like have it up there and then some random person downloads it and proceeds to put like malware on their computer. Granted, it's not like my malware. I didn't develop it or anything, but you know, I don't want to like. It's dangerous. Like, I want to make sure I'm doing it all very transparently and not like getting myself in trouble with my projects, you know, because that would be not so fun. But I can't decide if I want to go to the gym or if I want to tumble today. I think I need to go to the gym, but because my legs and like everything are still sore from tumbling a couple days ago. But I want to get double full connections on grass again, and then I want to just kind of like rep those until they're second nature. And then once that's done, I'll probably go back to like actual open gyms where I'm spending money to be there. So I can work on like harder skills, like get triple connections back and just more complicated passes and like double flips and all that. So we'll see. I don't know if I have much else to talk about. The one, I don't know who's watching, but one person watching, if you have any video suggestions, please shoot them my way. I was thinking of making a video actually where I go and do a Network Plus practice test, just like for kicks. And I'm like 2-3 years later, actually it's only, I think, 2 years. Expiration date, 9. Geez, it hasn't even been 2 years. But it's like 2 years later, how much do I actually remember of the Network Plus? Because the Network Plus is interesting because it's almost like it's just a very fact-based exam. And I'm kind of curious if I remember any of the intricacies. But I know I'll remember some of them, but I know I won't. Like, it won't be like super rock solid. I'm sure I'll get a good few things wrong, which I think would make for an entertaining video. CKS is in 4 weeks, I think. I think about 4 weeks, yeah. Actually, I think less than 4 weeks. I did just get 100% on a practice test, so there we go. I feel like I'm pretty ready. Those tests are just, they're very scary because it's just open-ended. Like, it's not multiple choice or anything. Like that practice test, like you saw me do, is similar to the questions they ask in the actual exam, and there's just a lot of moving parts in them. Oh, I totally missed David's comment. Guess what job would I go to after if you wanted entry-level, full remote, able to travel outside the country? He's thinking of tech sales. I don't know if I know enough about what the sales market looks like in tech. But I know like traveling, like consulting, you can travel a good bit. Sales, I'm sure you can travel a good bit. Entry level, it's tricky. I think sales would be the best route for that, because obviously, like consulting, you're gonna have to have a lot of that technical knowledge to, be able to consult people. But if the one person is still watching this is like actually awake, let me know. I'm kind of curious. I think I think I want to do more consistent live streaming, because just like answering questions and stuff is like one of my favorite things. And just kind of like just talking and socializing. So I think I might want to turn streams into like a more regular thing, because it's like it's really fun because I get to interact with you guys, and then it's not like super, I don't know if difficult is the right word, but it's not like hard to like set up. I just kind of get to talk about whatever you guys ask about. So I might try to do this more frequently. It is easier with the Kubernetes certs because I have like something to do while I'm answering questions. Whereas like if I were to go for like my CISSP, it would just be like reading, and that wouldn't be as fun or as interactive to watch. But we'll have to think of something. Because I gotta, like, just sitting here and just watching the chat, like my channel is not big enough to like make that a full stream, I don't think. So I feel like I need to have another activity going on where I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. I think I'll wrap it up at an hour 30, so give it like 3 more minutes here. And actually leave this live stream up. I've unlisted all of my other live streams, but this one I think I might actually leave up on my channel, so we'll see. These notes were interesting when I was making them. I made myself manually explain where things were in the like YAML manifest hierarchy. It's like these are extensive. It's like I think almost 50 pages of just like words. I mean, it's good. It's even to look back on. Like it'll be a good reference tool just to have. I think I'll go to the gym after this. I don't know if I have it in me to tumble. My legs are still a bit sore, and I don't work at the restaurant this week, so I'll have a lot of afternoons to tumble. Maybe like Monday or Tuesday I'll go. Alrighty, well that pretty much brings us to the end. Thank you guys for watching. As always, have a great rest of your weekend. I will talk to you later.